Once again, I'm going to try to share with you our top 10 stories of the year in 10 minutes. It's been a busy year, so I don't actually think I'll make it in 10, but maybe it'll be close. So let's start the clock. Number 10, working with Maryland's new governor. It's been a refreshing change to work with our new governor, Wes Moore, and Lieutenant Governor Runa Miller and their staff. They support our economic development efforts here in Montgomery County and understand the importance of our success to the success of the state. During his first weeks in office, Governor Moore visited North Bethesda to get briefed on our partnership with the University of Maryland to create the new Institute for Health Computing, which will be a game changer for our state. It has been said that the Institute will make Montgomery County the Silicon Valley of health computing. In 2024, I look forward to working with the Moore-Miller administration on critical issues such as right design and solutions to fix the American Legion Bridge, I-495 and 270, as well as reforms to our tax structure to ensure that we can fund our transportation projects. Number 9, free access to county fitness centers. One of the most popular new services this year was free access to our county's fitness centers. This is a great program to help residents improve health outcomes without gym memberships. We're continuing this program in 2024. So free in 23 and more in 24 is an easy way to fulfill a New Year's resolution to be healthier. Number 8, Crossvines opens. This summer, we celebrated the opening of Crossvines in Poolsville. This is a publicly owned and operated grape crush facility intended to support our local grape farmers and winemakers. It's also a beautiful event and meeting venue with delicious, locally sourced food, as well as educational spaces. I was pleased to help start this effort about 10 years ago when I learned that our soil and climate was perfect for growing fine wine grapes, and I asked our Revenue Authority to take on the project as a way to support farmers and help lower the startup costs of getting into the winemaking business. If you haven't been to our Crossvines or other agriculture tourism businesses, I encourage you to put them on the places to visit in 2024. Number 7, creating digital equity. 2023 has been a year where we've made great strides in shrinking the digital divide. We used about $23 million in federal grants to purchase 60,000 laptops for those who do not have a computer. Since 2022, the county has provided a total of 120,000 computers. As a result, most low-income families in our county have digital access for homework, for remote work, or to find a job. Computer and internet access are key equity issues, and thanks to our congressional delegation and our state delegations for supporting funding for this project. Number 6, combating climate change. This year it was the hottest year on record across the globe. Locally, we had extremely poor air quality from wildfires in Canada, ongoing drought problems, and oddly enough, flood problems as well. What the media often misses is that these incidents are a direct result of climate change. If we don't make real and significant changes, we're going to suffer increasing frequency and intensity of severe weather events. And without addressing historic racism and income inequity, the effect of climate change will be felt worse by low-income and communities of color. We know we only control actions in our county, but we are and we can be a model for the state and the nation. We have one of the most aggressive climate action plans in the country. This year, we've continued to tackle the biggest contributor of greenhouse gas emissions in our county, building energy. Emissions from the built environment make up 50% of our greenhouse gas inventory. That is why the Building Energy Performance Standards, or BEPS as they're called, are so important. This year we drafted the regulations to implement BEPS, which will improve energy efficiency and reduce emissions. The transportation sector is another large source of emissions. We're electrifying as many vehicles as possible, county vehicles including buses, as well as helping people with purchasing their personal vehicles. We began to design another microgrid with 5 megawatts of power through solar arrays in order to power our electric buses and produce clean hydrogen for our hydrogen fuel cell buses, which can serve longer routes than electric buses can. We added a microgrid with significant solar arrays at our Animal Services Center, reducing greenhouse gas emissions while assuring full operations if the grid power is lost. We're also improving the county's bus network through Ride On Reimagine And we launched our Ride-On trip planner to make using Ride-On more reliable and attractive to a new generation of public transit users. Other noteworthy accomplishments include a new law to phase out gas-powered leaf blowers. Tree Montgomery surpassed 11,000 trees planted, and we will continue our environmental efforts in 2024, including tackling shutting down our trash burning incinerator and reusing and recycling more. Number 5, investing in MCPs. During the FY23 budget cycle, I fully supported the Board of Education's budget because most of the increases went to increase salaries for teachers where the salaries are no longer competitive. While the final budget could have included more, MCPS still received historic funding levels, almost $200 million above the required maintenance of effort. I supported this necessary increase in funds, and I also understand that we need more accountability from the school system on how these dollars are spent and more transparency. The mishandling of serious allegations against the middle school principal exposed shocking flaws in oversight. This was not the only incident that the school system had neglected. And there are other concerns about truancy and school processes that affect learning. We also need to know how they measure success and whether our investments are effective. Transparency will restore confidence in our system and make future requests for additional investment easier to assess. Number 4, no tolerance for hate in Montgomery County. Sadly, we will remember this year for the Israel-Hamas war. Even though it's thousands of miles away from us, its impact has been deeply felt in our community. Just this fall, we saw a 300% rise in reported hate crimes, and we know there are many more that are not being reported. In response, we rapidly put out dollars to organizations that are at risk of hate incidents. These are going to Jewish, Muslim, Sikh, and Zoroastrian houses of worship and schools, as well as other community organizations. I'm glad we're able to get these funds quickly to these communities who feel scared, victimized, and targeted. However, I think we all agree that it's sad to have to use this money for security needs, but we are going to continue to do this as long as it's needed. I just wish we didn't have to do it. It's not just anti-Semitic and Islamophobic incidents. Unfortunately, our LGBTQ+ community was targeted and protested by Proud Boys and other national conservative activist groups. And we continue to see a proliferation of racist incidents and racial hatred, including in our schools. We can't stop hate overnight, but what we can do is build relationships between communities and ensure that all of us are working together to build a county where everyone feels welcome. Number 3, addressing public safety concerns. Like most places around the country and in this region, this year we've had an increased concerns about public safety and juvenile crime, as well as increases in drug overdoses and fatalities. We know that solutions have to be holistic. We can't expect the police department and the justice system to solve this. In fact, they're not there to solve problems, they're there to deal with problems. If we're going to solve problems, we must also address the health and education needs and disparities that are at the root of this increase in criminal activity. Too many kids are leaving our schools unprepared for work, and if they leave schools unprepared for work, it is a sure path to find themselves in trouble. Over the summer, we conducted a successful Summer of Peace that provided youth engagement activities, and we're working with MCPS, Montgomery College, USG, and WorkSource Montgomery to provide job training and career opportunities. We opened our stabilization center and are planning a new diversion center to help get people the proper help they need rather than sending them immediately to jail. We are also investing in new technology and in our people. This year, we offered $20,000 signing bonuses, which helped us attract more police officer applicants. We launched our Drone as First Responder program in Silver Spring and Wheaton this fall, helping us respond in minutes to several incidents. I look forward to the likelihood of expanding this program to other parts of the county. And our new police private security camera incentive program will ease the cost of security cameras for homes and businesses in high crime priority areas. And our fire and rescue urban search and rescue team went to Hawaii to assist in the search for victims, and for the first time in the history of the county, we had the first all-female service crew at the Kensington Volunteer Fire Department. The bakery program is restored in our corrections department, helping those incarcerated learn new skills. and reduce recidivism. Before this program was discontinued during the recession, it had a good record of people who going through the program being able to find jobs in the private sector when they left the jail. We know we have public safety issues, but we are and we will continue to invest in our people, technology, and innovative methods to meet these challenges. Number 2, producing affordable housing and stabilizing rent. In 2023, we have helped produce or preserve more than 1,460 affordable housing units. This is good news, but it's not enough. Secure and affordable housing is a basic human right. For the 4th year in a row, we budgeted a record level of investment to produce, protect, and preserve affordable housing. This year, we also saw many landlords raise rents in excess of 10, 15, and 20%. Many people in this county do not see pay increases that match these rent increases. These aren't modest rent increases, and this is rent gouging. I appreciate the County Council for passing an historic rent stabilization bill. Even though I had advocated for a stronger bill, it makes progress on limiting the rent increases that continue to displace people in Montgomery County. Rent stabilization has worked for decades in Tacoma Park, ensuring affordable rents and socioeconomic diversity. It was time that a bill passed county-wide. Next year, we will continue our work to create more affordable housing opportunities and protect the vulnerable from displacement. And number 1, Montgomery County hits record low unemployment and major economic development wins. While many predicted a recession in 2023, our local economy did well. Over the summer, our unemployment rate hit a record low of 1.5%, the lowest rate in 33 years. We also maintained our AAA bond rating, one of only about 30 county jurisdictions out of 3,000 nationwide to do so. The AAA bond rating keeps our borrowing costs low. We also have record reserves. 5 years ago, when I got elected, we couldn't even meet our targeted 10% reserves. We never had. And now we have close to 17% reserves. We also had great news from top businesses, including major expansion plans for AstraZeneca in Gaithersburg and United Therapeutics in Silver Spring. We've continued to improve our procurement process, and we spend a record amount, more than $305 million with local businesses. And for the first time, we had more new vendors last year than established vendors winning contracts in Montgomery County, demonstrating that we are ensuring more competition for county contracts. We also continue to make progress in improving our permitting process. Our improved residential fast-track program and Apply Online portal mean that some eligible projects are approved in days instead of weeks. Finally, I led economic development missions to Taiwan, India, and Vietnam with a focus on life science companies and tech companies. We invited Montgomery County businesses and introduced them to potential new markets to expand their reach, and we told many other companies about Montgomery County as a great place to establish or expand an American presence. And for all our assets, great location, great schools, and thriving businesses, there was one aspect that regularly stood out when we were talking to people. In all 3 of these nations, our diversity was a major issue. Our business people who were with us were powerful voices explaining why they chose to make Montgomery County home for their lives and their businesses. It made it clear that while other locations may have bells and whistles, we have an inclusive and welcoming climate. These economic trade missions were very successful, and I look forward to announcing more great economic news and jobs created from these trips next year. So that's a wrap for 2023. Once again, I can't say I did it in 10 minutes. There was just too much to be shared. Thank you for listening. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2024.